The right-wing website Newsmax now has something called Newsmax TV, and they had as a guest Richard Land, who was brought on to talk about whether Joe Biden's comments that we need to speak out against anti-gay discrimination, we need to prevent bullying. Richard Land was asked to comment on that. Not too surprisingly, he doesn't agree. And he went on to say something interesting. J.D. Hayworth, the former Arizona congressman, hosts this show. He said something interesting about transgenderism. Okay, I'm going to play the clip for you, and then we'll talk about it.
But I'm also called upon to uphold biblical standards of morality. And the Bible, especially in the New Testament, is quite clear that homosexual behavior and lesbian behavior is a rebellion against God's order, and perhaps the ultimate rebellion against God's creation is transgenderism. You know, I was born this way, but I don't want to be this way, so I'm going to change my gender. I don't know how you could have a more ultimate rebellion against God's creation and God's order than that.
I think we have now established the ranking of LGBT individuals for bigoted right-wingers, okay? So the worst, the absolute worst, are transgender people. That seems to be the consensus among the right. Second would be gay men, right? With the fixation on gay male sex and the whole thing. It seems transgender is the worst, then comes being a gay man. And then third, in my estimation, and we've interviewed a lot of these anti-gay bigots, is being a lesbian, right? If they even talk about lesbianism, it's usually really not that harsh language. Of course, if you actually ask them, they will say, oh, no. Lesbians are really bad too. Brian Fisher sometimes will say there's lots of diseases that lesbians are very prone to. Of course, it's not backed by actual science that it's because they are lesbians that they are prone to those diseases. Evaluate my ranking, Lewis. Is that how the right-wingers see it? Transgender, gay men, gay women?
I think usually that's the order, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course fourth would be not nearly as bad as any of these, would be anti-gay, closeted gay Republican politicians who act like they're anti-gay but are actually gay behind the scenes. That doesn't seem to be that big of a concern for the American right.
No, at least not that we know of. Perhaps behind closed doors, this is a very big problem, perhaps an epidemic.